Hello. So in this video, we're going to continue with the Pong tutorial, and we're going to get the goals working to where the players can earn points if the ball goes over to the opposite side's player. So we're going to stick with this style of using objects to organize everything. So I'm going to say let's see, um, let left player goal equal an empty object. And so left player goal dot x, because I really only care about the x value of it, is equal to, if they are the left player, the idea is that they got it over to the other side, so that they want to have their x be 400. Right? And then we can find some other properties here, like left player goal dot, like I say, player, which is going to be a string. All right, so left. And that way I can pull this if I need to build like a HUD and show which side is which. So I'm just go ahead and capitalize that. Right, so like the name of this player that the goal is associated to is the left player. And the left player goal dot score is starting as 0. All right, so then I want to copy and paste here, and then change this to right player goal. So then for all these attributes, the right player goal dot x is 0. The right player goal dot player is right. And then the right player goal dot score, it still initializes 0. And so we have these properties then of these two different goals here. So we could almost pretend like they are rectangles. All right, even so, if they at least cross into that boundary, then of going into the rectangles, then it would work that way. So to check the collision, it'll actually look very similar to ball versus paddle. We can start to take that here. And so I'll add it to the very end of the code here. Instead of being ball versus paddle, it'll be ball versus goal. And then so we're not defining what the paddle is, we're defining what the goal is, right? A very general term for here, because in a different part of the place, we'll say whether it's the left player goal, the right player goal, but here we can just generally say goal. So then everywhere where I refer to paddle, then I want to just swap that out for goal. And so if we kind of pretend that they have, this is off to the side there. And as we look through the code that we're seeing, you notice that, and I missed one here, that we do reference like a width and then even a height. So we could hard code the numbers here, but I think it would be good to just scroll back to the top and actually set these properties for both of those. I could be fancy and try to think of that there's these constants that belong to everything, but I'm just going to add the width and then the height property to both of these here. Okay, so for the left player goal, so after I do X, I'm going to do all that. So left player goal dot Y is going to be equal to 0, right? So they're rectangles, so they're going to draw from their top left corner. And so I want to start it up there. And then right player goal, it's going to be the same thing. Remember, they both start at the top. And then they both have a so left player goal dot width. Set the width equal to, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but let's just set it to 20. And then left player goal dot height, that I want to set to 400. So the width and the height property are going to be for both left and right player, right? So on both sides, then we're drawing two rectangles. Now, at this point, you might have a guess of what we need to adjust here. I'm going to run it and then go back and fix it. But if you think there's something we need to do here, you're right. All right, so ball versus goal, but then we want to define what happens. All right, so it's not that the ball bounces. So if it's true that there's collision between the ball and the goal, it's not that the ball bounces. It's that that score is increased. Right? So if you hit that side of it, so then it's goal dot score plus plus. Right, so where it used to be 0, now it's 1, and then 2. And then just to make things kind of very visual for us, we haven't built out the score HUD yet. So also inside of these curly braces, I want to do a console.log. Use the log function to make a statement then appear in my console so that I can at least see. Right, so I want to see which player scored and then what their score is. And so I'd say goal dot player and an empty space here. Maybe I'll do like, so I did plus quotes, colon, space, and then I ended the quotes just so I can see a colon and a space in between the name of the player and then right after the quotes here, I'm going to say plus again. So use that plus symbol on both sides. Then I say goal dot score. Right, that way I'm going to see a message that says the player, and then it mixes in this colon space string, and then it mixes in the score itself. So this should show up in the console here. And I've only defined the function, so I need to call it. All right, so we'll do that here. The ball versus goal on the left player goal, then ball versus goal for the right player. All right, so then that should pass that object on. Let's see if we can get this to work. All right, which will be a little tricky if the ball is just bouncing up and down. So let's change the ball's velocity to be non-zero in the x direction. All right, so I get to bounce. Should bounce off the bottom wall there. And then if I intentionally miss it, I can see if I can get it to score. And I did not. All right, it did not work. Let me just run it again to see if there's some kind of difference between the left and the right side. Okay, so I did get that to happen. I didn't think about like respawning it or anything. So you see how it did happen over and over again. It only works on the left side. So we want to think about why that would be. So we define the left player goal, but that actually is working for right player goal. It's the left side, but the left player is trying to score over there. So the left player goal is the one that's working. All right, we got left to show up here. Something about right player goal. That's the x position being 0. I'm just going to test it one more time. You never know just exactly what's going on here. All right, so I mean, I'm definitely not getting the right player goal to work. So the x is 0, the y is 0. All right, so it's drawing it over there. That's good. The width is 20 and the height is 400, just like we wanted. Um, okay, I do call it goal versus goal for the right player goal. And take in goal. I do have all of the pieces in here that I need to make it happen. And so that would be a good thing for us to try to figure out and try to find. I'll look forward to that in another video. We do have the basic idea set up in here, but we'll try to find that fix.